Parents worry when their children leave home. Workers worry about returning safely. Young people spend less time planning their future and more time preparing for problems.
You went to school, got qualifications, worked hard, followed the rules. So why do you still seem worried about the future?
Because, Mom,
Growing up, they told us hard work would make life predictable. Nobody warned us that one day we'd work hard and still feel uncertain.
What do you mean by uncertain?
I mean, a lot of people no longer spend their energy planning 5 years ahead. They're spending it hoping next week doesn't surprise them.
So what changed?
I think many people grew up believing life worked like a formula. Study hard, work hard, be patient, then eventually things improve. But reality became more complicated than the promise.
And that affects people?
It affects everything. How people think, how people dream, even how much hope they allow themselves to have.
What happens to people when they stop believing in tomorrow?
they stop dreaming properly. Not because they don't have ambition. Because uncertainty makes ambition expensive. You stop asking, what can I become? And start asking, what can I protect?
That sounds sad.
It is. A society loses something important when survival becomes more realistic than possibility.
Who suffers the most?
Families, parents worrying about children, children worrying about parents, people leaving home and hoping everyone returns safely. That's not how people are supposed to spend their emotional energy.
And young people?
They carry a different burden. Many were told the future was waiting for them. Now they're trying to figure out whether the future still exists in the way they imagined.
You've made this interview very serious.
That's why people joke so much nowadays. Sometimes humor isn't happiness. It's emotional shock absorbers.
So we're all comedians now?
Some of the funniest people you know are carrying the heaviest things.
Last question. What do people deserve most right now?
More than survival, ma'am. People deserve confidence. The confidence to plan, to dream, to work, to raise families, to believe that effort still means something. Because when people lose faith in tomorrow, an entire generation starts living smaller than it was meant to.
You mentioned uncertainty earlier. How much of that comes from insecurity?
A lot, ma'am. People can adapt to many things. They can adapt to hardship. They can adapt to disappointment. But it's difficult to build a future when you're constantly worried about safety.
How does that affect ordinary people?
It changes how people think. Parents worry when their children leave home. Workers worry about returning safely. Young people spend less time planning their future and more time preparing for problems.
And what responsibility do leaders have in that?